Hello guys. Today, to kick off November here, since it's the Thanksgiving month for thankfulness stuff, I think today would be good to talk about Brendan Fraser. It's been a while since I've done a profile on somebody. Fraser is a very, he's had a very interesting career. The, and, and unfortunately went through a lot of bad stuff that definitely derailed him for sure, but has seen a recent like rise up in and stuff. But first let's start off with the bio here. All this is through IMDb, of course. Was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, to Canadian parents. He is of like all these typical all these different ancestries. There's a lot of moving around between Ottawa, Indianapolis, Detroit, Seattle, London, and Rome. And he had, after he graduated from Seattle's Cornish Institute, he found a minor role as Sailor Number One in River Phoenix's Dogfight in '91. Then Encino Man, another one there, that was an earlier role film in School Ties. He expressed a preference for playing fish out of water men. 5 more years of supporting work led to finally a title role in George of the Jungle in '97. And utilized his strains. He describes the role of George of the Jungle as a role as the one which dramatically altered his career. He also got critical praise for the God and Monsters movie. Yeah, increases dramatic stuff. That's a biography later. He was married for 10 years. The divorce was a big one, and that one, that kind of stuff we might get to in a little bit here. All right, so what is this guy? So what is he known for? What movies is he really known for? I got some trivia facts here. I'll name 3 of them. I don't know if I always do these when I do profiles, but he speaks French fluently, which is interesting there. This is funny. While filming Looney Tunes Back in Action, I didn't know this. I was terrified of having to hit Bill Goldberg. I think Goldberg was in Looney Tunes. Goldberg constantly told him to go ahead and do it, telling him it's what I do for a living. Oh, was considered for the role of Reed Richards in the 2005 Fantastic Four film. That's pretty cool. Um, so movies. What is his movies? Let's see. What is he in? Shoot. Okay. So sometimes IMDb can be a pain in the ass to navigate through. Alright. Filmography. Actor, 77 credits. So recently, and I can't believe his bio didn't mention this as a big turn. The Mummy movies was huge for him. I'm surprised that his bio didn't mention that, but the Mummy movies were huge for him. I think it's the stuff that he's most known for. I have to say though, I grew up watching the Mummy movies myself. They were on cable TV like literally nonstop. Um, Here's personally, I love Brendan Fraser. I think he's a solid actor. I think the problem with Brendan Fraser is that I think he just got plagued with too many roles that just didn't quite fit him. You know, I think his best work, to be honest, is when he's on the serious side. I don't know. I don't know if it was the writing, because here's the thing: Brendan Fraser started to get real popular during a real big dead period in films. I think if he started to gain traction during a period of filmmaking that was more solid and well rounded, I think he would have been better off. That's a big thing right there. That not a lot of people catch on. But yeah, but there was a Batgirl movie that was gonna come out that they completely canceled. He's gonna play the bad guy in that. I would have been loved to see him do that. That would have been fun. Um, but let's see. Let's go back to like his old, dogfight. That was mentioned in Encino Man. Let's see here. Pauly Shore stuff. Mrs. Winterborn. I remember that movie. That's not a good movie. George of the Jungle, Gods and Monsters. I watched that movie. That to my best of knowledge, that's probably legit his That's probably the best movie he's in where he's one of the main characters. Because he's been in good movies, but he wasn't a main character. But that movie, that's probably overall, I would say, his best movie. Because knowing his life and watching that movie, you definitely kind of got a better understanding of what that means for that movie. Blast from the Past. Now that's an interesting movie. That movie I think does the best job of showing off his more of his range as an actor. I watched that movie so much growing up. I still do from time to time if I'm like at home or something. It's just it's an interesting movie in an interesting time period, with an interesting cast. It's just interesting. I don't know if it's a good movie. I don't want to say it's great, and I think the biggest reason why is I think because you could tell they could have done more to make it more real big, but they kind of settled on making it kind of more middle-ish of the road, which there's nothing wrong with, but you could see that this could have been made into something that was a lot more with a lot more punch in the writing, technically the story, like political commentary or something. I don't know, but yeah. Then The Mummy, Dudley Do Right. Oh my god, I grew up with that movie. I don't remember it being very good. That's the thing. Like he's a memorable guy, but he's one of those actors. Here's the best way to describe Brendan Fraser. The movies don't make him memorable. He makes the movies memorable, if that makes any sense. Because I'll remember him more first before I remember the movie he's in. And that's kind of he's one of those actors. Monkey Boom was shit. Quiet American. I heard that one was good, but I haven't seen it. He did that one with what's his name? He played Alfred in the Dark Knight trilogy. I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember his name. It's killing me. Because those are my favorite. It just slipped my mind. I'm just gonna roll with it. It's whatever. But I haven't seen that one. Looney Tune movie. Apparently, he was in Scrubs for a few episodes. Apparently, he was in King of the Hill for a few voice stuff. But yeah, once it got into like 2000s, he's still pretty active-ish, kinda. TV movie or Journey to Center Earth. I remember that one. I watched that one. Then The Mummy, the third Mummy movie. That one I watched a little bit of, but to be honest, the first Mummy movie is like the best one to watch. Second one is okay. The third one, I think could have been better, but I think it was just too long since the second one, and I think there was just too many changes to the cast, and I think. I don't know. I think they didn't take enough chances with the uniqueness of the changes that they did do. But that's just me. Inkheart is an interesting movie. I watched that one. That movie I think could have that one was interesting for sure. Then Extraordinary Measures in 2010. that one wasn't a bad movie. It was CBS experimenting with filmmaking a little bit. That's not bad. That has Harrison Ford in it as well. Um, that one doesn't get. I mean, it's based on true stories too. And then after really 2010, he really just did some light stuff, nothing big. Then he just kind of stopped for a while. He was involved in a TV series, The Affair, Texas Rising miniseries, Nightcap Trust TV series, Condor TV series. Yeah, he was kind of absent from like film stuff, some light work. I think, and this is probably getting into he went through a lot of crap. He had issues earlier in his life that kind of affected him psychologically. It is around, but I don't want to say specifics because I don't know the specifics, so I don't want to say stuff that may not be correct. But I do know that his divorce really rattled him. Like, it was a nasty one, and a lot of the trash of it, unfortunately, was put on him. Like, I do know he got a lot of shit that he didn't deserve, and it really wrecked him. But recently he has started to really come back. The first one being the Titan TV show. Well, he had made an appearance in Titans. He made an appearance as a superhero character, voice mostly, but he was there. Then it spun off into a show where he was one of the stars in, and that really helped propelled him a bit. Doom Patrol was that show. Then The Whale, which is his newest film, came out. It's an indie film, and that gained, apparently it's like award-winning kind of film, which is great for him. So as of right now, he's kind of going through a career renaissance, which is great. Because I think he's one of those actors that I think is a really good actor, and I just think he didn't get the scripts that worked on his strength. I think Brendan Fraser's strength is the vulnerability he brings in. The vulnerability he brings into his roles, I think, really shows his stuff. I don't think a good chunk of the films he was in during his like younger days really showcased that, with the exception of Gods and Monsters, and maybe the odd scene there and there. The Mummy films, I think the Mummy films he's most popular in just because they've been played the most. I mean, how many times do you put on cable TV and the Mummy's on? I mean, I feel like sometimes movies just get popular just because they're just being played nonstop more than anything. I mean, well, more than anything than that. But yeah, that. But I will say though, like, I would rather watch that Mummy movie than the newest one with Tom Cruise. I'll say that much. Because the Mummy movies themselves, I don't want to get into a review on the Mummy movies, but I will say this. Like, at least with the first one, 2 and 3, you can kind of take it or leave it. But the first one, it was really old school. It could have been a little bit more polished. It could have been a little bit more well rounded. But I love that. I felt like it was a bit more on the original side, and I think there could have been room to go. I think a sequel would have been doable if they were a little bit more clever and really thought about it. I don't think they went far enough with that because it was the late '90s, early 2000s. That period isn't, like I said, that period isn't really known for high film quality, consistent high film quality. Um, but yeah, that Mummy film, it had the right idea. It just needed some touch ups. But I like, one thing I really loved was the use of practical effects in a lot of the action scenes. I mean, it did use some CGI to really really mix results. There are just some CGI shots where I'm just like, oh good lord, what are you doing? But it had some good ideas, and I think even the second one, to a smaller extent but still a decent extent, has some good ideas too. I just think that it just needed, like I said, it just needed polished. But I will say this, like those two, like his Mummy movie, I think brought more attention to that franchise than the older ones. Like the 1930s Universal ones, they're not bad, but I think without the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, I don't know if as many people would discover those older ones like they would if when they go those. And I will say this about those ones, they may not be super scary, but they did keep some of the horror elements in there, which I can appreciate myself, especially with the first one. But yeah, man, talk about a guy here. I mean, and that's the thing, like, I'm so happy to see him brought back, because like I said, I do legit think that he's a really, really good actor. I just think he just kept getting the short end of the stick, and I don't think he ever really consistently got roles that showcased what he could really do. The vulnerability, like I said, vulnerability I think is a strength. Like I think his overall best like pure acting work, in terms of just everything just lined up perfectly, was Gods and Monsters. Because that role he played, really, I think he really connected with it because of his real life situations he had, and you could really tell like how much it showcased with them. That movie I could review in itself, but yeah, this is overall, he's on fire right now. I really look forward to seeing what he's gonna do next, because like I said, like I didn't feel like in the 90s, even though he was popular in the 90s, I don't really think he got the roles that would have worked with him. Because I feel like now I feel like he kind of has, because nowadays, I mean, geez, nowadays there's so much content being brought up, anyone can do anything pretty well if they fit right. I feel like now, with what he's experienced, and I feel like with everyone like full, like, want to see what he's going to do next, I feel like he's given the freedom to kind of pick roles that really grab him more and kind of fit what he feels like more, as opposed to maybe back in the day where he just kind of grabbed at what he can because he was still trying to build himself up. And I do think he can do comedy and all the other stuff. I'm not saying he can only do like vulnerable roles. He certainly can do other stuff too. I just think that the stuff he was given to work with wasn't very polished. Like the Dudley Do Right film, as much as some people may want to defend that film because they grew up with it, it is not. It's not a good film. You can get enjoyment out of it. You can still like it, but that doesn't make it good. There's a difference between something being good and liking it. I like a lot of stuff that's crap, but I know it's crap. But I still like it. There is a difference, and some people kind of get that mixed up, and it can lead to some long-term unfortunate filmmaking mistakes. But that's off topic. That's another topic for a different time. But overall, Brendan Fraser, definitely recommend checking out his career. I'm not all his films are 5 stars. If you're watching anything with Brendan Fraser in it, you're watching it for him, not for the film itself. For the most part, there are exceptions to that. But he's definitely one of those actors that makes the film memorable a good chunk of the time over the film itself. That's the movie's fault, not him, of course. But yeah, overall, like, definitely check out some of his stuff if you haven't already. I say look for his drama indie stuff. That kind of seems to be, that was kind of his strength. Some of his more standard stuff is good too, but if you want the full on like Brendan Fraser acting stuff, definitely check out like Gods and Monsters. Quiet American I heard was good, even though I haven't seen it myself, so kind of keep an eye on that. His newest one, The Whale, I heard was really, really good as well. And also the newest stuff he was in, like Doom Patrol, that was a good show, and he's in that too. That kind of helped kickstart him back into the acting fold quite a bit. So definitely check that out if you get a chance. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it myself. I haven't seen a lot of stuff, but lately. But yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with anyone at the Camping Company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab on our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.